We have never seen a crisis like this before. And if we are going to end this thing, we need to change the way we are dealing with substance abuse. This country's war against drugs is almost 50 years old, and I've been a part of it for 30. First as a counselor, probation officer, and then a gang intelligence officer with the Sheriff's Department. I've worked with drug and gang units at the federal and the state and the local level, from the experimental user to the addict to the cartel gang member. I've worked with families in their homes. I've worked with the kids in their schools, communities, in the jails, and in the courts. And during that time, I've lost family and friends to drugs. So I'm going to tell you, we've lost this war on drugs. It's not because of effort. It's not because of resources. It's not because of money. It's because of strategy. Our strategy is wrong. Our reactive, too little, too late strategy. It took us 40 years to realize that punishment does not work. Treatment works. But it's the type of treatment that we have to look at. When we intervene and how we intervene. Studies show us today that only 1 out of 10 people receive the appropriate treatment for their drug problem. Whether they go to rehab, residential, inpatient, outpatient, wilderness camps, 1 out of 10. So the success rate for adults in rehab is low, we know that. And they want to be there. They want help. Teenagers don't want to be there, they don't want the help. They're there because their parents made them go there. So when they go back home to the real world, to the same people, the same places, the same triggers, the same issues, they relapse, they begin to use again. I've seen this time and time again. First, we need to understand that teenagers get high as a solution to a problem. Very often a problem they can't even identify. Loneliness, anxiety, depression, family issues. That's what we need to find out, the why. Why do they want to get high? Why do they feel they need to get high? That's the question. And if you can't find out the why, then you're just treading water. And this is why the parents need to be involved in the intervention process, because it's the parents that have the insight and the knowledge and the love to pull that child through. Nobody else has these powers. But the families and these parents need our help. So what we do is we set up an intervention process that helps the parents help the child. This triad intervention consists of education, community support, and parent empowerment. So I educate parents on how their kids are buying drugs over the internet and having it shipped directly to their home. How kids are getting high when they vape. Today, every 16-year-old needs over 100 hours of training, education, and testing before we let them drive a car. That same 16-year-old will get just a few hours of drug education in the school and even less at home. This year, more people will die from drugs than car accidents. So along with education, we also need community support. And every community already has the resources in place. We just have to guide the parents down this path. Community support includes deans, counselors, school resource officers, physicians, doctors, anyone that has an interest and can make a difference in that child's life. And by doing this, we now know what the child is doing at the home, in the school, and in the community. We know what their behaviors are, we know who they're associating with. And by working together, and by communicating with the parents, we work as a team. And more importantly, the parents now know that they are not in this fight alone. And then we get family therapy involved. And that's where we find out the why. Lastly, we empower the parents in setting behavior expectations and parameters for their kids. We teach parents how to use drug screens, how to search rooms, how to use GPS, how to check their kids' social media, how to use behavior contracts. Now I know this is uncomfortable for a lot of parents. This is hard because we weren't raised this way. But it's something we got to do. We got to be vigilant and determined to keep our kids safe against drugs. This is the world we live in. Drug addiction is at its highest level. Drug use is starting at a very early age. We need to fight this. We need to keep our kids safe. We have to do this.